Hi again everyone, and welcome to the Laughter Crafter channel. It's great to be with you again. Well, you may remember that last week we had a go at making handmade paper. Well, I did. I hope you joined me as well during the week. It was really good fun, and I said that we would do something this week with that paper, and so I have. I've done some marbling and I'm going to demonstrate it for you. And here are some of the pieces that I did, and it was really good fun. I had some scraps left over, so I turned them into these little bookmarks, which are a bit fun and funky, and I laminated them. And this one I think is really apt for my daughter who lives in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. So I'll send her that one. Look, this is not perfect, but you know, I don't go for perfection. I think it's pretty good and it's lots of fun doing it. So there we go. Here is the limerick that goes with this craft. So I've marbled with paint set on water, and this bookmark I'll send to my daughter. It was easy, I guess, made a bit of a mess. Are they perfect? Not really, but sorta. Anyway, there we go. So, just a little promise slash threat. At the end of this video, I'm going to sing for you, okay? So get ready for that. So a joke before we go on. It was pretty cold this morning, so I rugged up and I remembered this joke. What did the hat say to the scarf? You just hang around and I'll go on ahead. There we go. Okay, why don't we get on with making some craft? So here are the things I think that we're going to need to do the marbled homemade paper. Here's the paper that, if you watched last week, you would have seen this being made, and that's it, nice and dry. These are some more that I pulled out of my stash. I made these years ago and forgot about them. Different colors, different petals you'll see inside that paper, and this might be great for marbling and turning into maybe little gift cards or something. So we're going to be able to marble this paper. We need a container. So you might already have a tray, but this is a tray I'm going to use, and we're going to add into it, just to thicken up the water in the bath, we're going to add a little bit of wallpaper paste. So I'll talk you through that as we go. Now, to prepare the paper, we want to actually add a solution onto the paper, and this solution is what's called alum, and it's a pure sodium alginate, and you can buy this from lots of places. It's food grade, but you can send, I just sent away for this, and I'm going to, as we go, I'm going to tell you the ratio of that to water, which we are going to spray on, just a very light spray onto the top surface of all the pieces of paper, and let them dry overnight. That just helps the paint to stick onto the surface of the paper and stay there, and not just sort of rub off or soak in or disappear. So that's two products that we need: wallpaper paste and some alum. Of course, we want some paints, and I've got just a few of my little paints here. We want to water down the paint just a little bit, so it's roughly the same viscosity as what you're going to have in this water bath that has got some wallpaper paste in it. Just a little bit of wallpaper paste. We don't want to turn it into jelly. We just want it just a little slightly more thick than regular water, so that the paint, when it's dripped on or dropped on or dragged on, is going to sit on the surface, and then as you drag the paper through, the paper that's been treated with the alum solution, it's going to adhere to it. So that's what we want. I've grabbed a comb here. You might have like a afro comb or something else that you want to sort of drag across the surface of the paint to get patterns. That's all good too. I'm going to wear gloves all the way through, especially when I'm mixing up the alum powder, because it can be a little bit of an irritant. So I always use my gloves for everything. So I've made up the alum solution in the water, and it's all, I strained it a few times and really mixed it in well, so there's no little globby bits in there. That's ready to go. What I've done on the back of all of these pieces of paper, with a pencil, I've marked a little cross on the back, because I'm going to spray on the side that doesn't have the cross. And this stuff dries clear, so when it's dry tomorrow sometime, and this is ready to go, I will know which side to place down on the paint bath. It'll be the side that does not have the cross. It'll be this side. So this is the side that the alum mixture gets sprayed onto. So I'm going to spray one just to show you that we don't spray too much, just a little light spray. I'll do one, and then I'll do one at a time, take them aside and let them dry. So that's about it. That's about it. You can hardly see it, but it was a little squirt. Okay, I'll just do one more. That's enough. And I'll continue on and do them all and set them aside so that they dry really well, ready to use tomorrow. So I have 3 litres of cold water in my tray, my aluminium tray, and so into that goes 3 tablespoons of the wallpaper paste. Now you can follow the directions for how to mix this, but don't forget, you're not making it to put wallpaper on the wall. You're making it just to thicken up this water a little bit and make it hold the paint onto the surface better. So what we're going to do is sprinkle this on the top That's 1, 2. So don't do this with hot water, do it with cold water. So there's the 3. Now my stirrer has gone west. I don't know where it's gone. So I know that's not really a stirrer, but you know what? It'll work. And so we need to stir it really well because lumps will form. So we keep stirring and stirring until the lumps go. And once they're gone, we just let this sit overnight so that tomorrow, when the paper's dry, the alum on the paper is dry, that's ready to go to take the paint. And this mixture here, this bath of water, is ready to have the paint sit on the surface, and then we can do our marbling. How marvellous. Get it? Marvellous. Yeah, so I don't even see any lumps in there just now. But the trick is to use cold water, not hot water. I need a little bit of hot water to dissolve that alum. Just a little bit of boiling water, just like a couple of spoons of hot water to dissolve that powder. Get all the lumps out and then top it up with cold water. But this wallpaper paste just takes cold water. Well, here's the wallpaper paste mixture in the water. It's been sitting for quite a few hours. I did add a couple more spoons of wallpaper paste in, so it's kind of like looks a bit like gelatin, doesn't it? That's ready to go, but it's obviously way too thin to put wallpaper up on the wall. But I think I'm going to let that settle and stop moving around while I show you the paper. The alum on the paper has all dried, and I've got this paper cross side up because it's the underside that has the alum on it. So I'm going to place this on the paint pattern shortly with the cross side up. So I'll put these aside for the moment. I've got some paints prepared, slightly thinned down, and so now I'm just going to make a pattern with these paints, dropping paint onto this water. In between using the different colours, I'll wipe the spoon on a cloth. So let's see how we go. And I'm just sort of going to see what happens. You can see how the wallpaper, the thickness of the wallpaper mix has caused this paint to mostly just sit on top of the surface, and that's what we were going for. The idea with the paint is to, once you've done a swipe with a piece of paper and collected up that paint from the surface, then you need to clean up the leftover paint on the surface of the water or of the bath with either newspaper or blotting paper to clean it up for the next lot. Okay, that's okay. I've got an interesting pattern. It's not perfect circles, but I wasn't going for perfect. I'm going to put some green on top. Just little splashes here and there. So I'll turn the camera off now and I'll just keep going and come back when I'm ready to do the paper. So that's quite interesting. It was all going very smoothly until I put the silver in, and the silver kind of went rah and pushed everything around like a bully. Then I added the yellow on top of that. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting pattern. You never quite know what you're going to get. It's an unpredictable sort of science when you do this. I've got this comb and I'm going to drag it through and see if I get any more interesting things happening. I don't want to completely mix up all the colours so it just turns into a sludge. So that's why I'm just going very gently. And you can see that I'm getting a few nice little interesting comey marks, which I'd like to keep. So I'm going to move the surface too much. It's a little bit more sludgy over this side. So I might sort of leave it at that, I think. Maybe just move that blue, maybe just move that one. Okay. So I've got one of my pieces of paper with the cross uppermost, and I'm going to just plop this down on the water, and then I've got my gloves on. I'm just going to lift this up very carefully and see what we have. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So now I'm going to go and lay that down on the prepared old tea towel that I've got ready to take it. So I have a little offcut of this marbled handmade paper, and it just sort of broke off the end of one of the sheets. So I thought this is a really good size actually for a little bookmark. So I thought, why not incorporate some calligraphy into it? So that's what I'm going to do. I've just marked a couple of lines in pencil to write on. I don't know if you've ever tried calligraphy. I don't sketch out my letters. I just have a rough idea of how they're going to fit on the line. And I've got a chisel tip pen. It's actually a fabric pen, but this will be fine for this. And you might see that it's chisel tipped, and that's what you use traditionally for calligraphy. So you're going to hold it on this 45-degree angle like so, and this is my little saying that I'm going to write on the bookmark. Grass is greener when you water it. What do you think about that saying? And there it is. The grass is greener when you water it. And here's my little initial down here. R-G-N 25. I always like to add the date onto anything that I do, because in a few years' time I'll be curious about when I did this. So, you know, you might think, oh, that's not perfect calligraphy. Well, remember, I don't go for perfection. I might just touch it up a little bit just so it's more readable. But there you go. I'm going to spin it round. The grass is greener when you water it. So I'm going to use my little battery operated eraser and get those two lines off, and then I'm going to laminate it. But I think that's quite good. So there's that little bookmark laminated, and I had another scrap, so I decided to do this one as well. Courage isn't having no fear, it's acting despite the fear. I love both of these sayings, and I think I'll give this one to my daughter Charlotte. I'm always reminding her about this. The grass is always greener when you water it. She lives in Portland, Oregon, and I'm always sending her over little care packages, so I'm going to pop that in the next one, and I think she'll get a kick out of that. So here's a closer look at these marbled handmade papers now that they're completely dry. I did press them with an iron, actually, not with steam coming out of it, just a dry iron, just to make them flat again, and that's worked quite well. So they're all quite different. You can see the sort of the little comey marks in places on this paper, and sometimes on the back. It's quite an interesting effect as well. So yeah, who knows what these will end up as. But they're all different. This one you can see it kind of fell apart at one end, so that's where I turned that one and this one into bookmarks. So there we go, that's those. These are the smaller pieces that I've had sitting there for ages. These were coloured to start off with, so you can see how the colour has taken to the paint has taken to the coloured paper and reacted in a different way to how it did on the white paper. But they're all interesting, and I'll probably use these as inserts in cards or some other kind of collage perhaps. But there you go, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I hope you get inspired to have a go yourself. So there you go. That's how to marble paper. In this instance, handmade paper. So why don't you have a go? Did you already make some handmade paper? Why don't you go ahead and do that and then marble it? See what designs you come up with, what colors you come up with, and I'd be really, really keen to see those pictures up underneath the video. Don't forget to do all the like and subscribe and share with friends and stuff, and if there's a bell icon there, push that, and then you'll get notified when there's a new video up. Which reminds me, I said I would sing for you at the end of this video, so are you ready? Strap in, here it is. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. Haha, I did warn you already. Okay, so there was a little bit of fun for you. I hope that you will have lots of fun this week, laughing, lots of fun crafting, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.